All right, hello everyone. The moment you've all been waiting for. Kevin here with Twin Cities Golf. We are at Mulligan's Indoor in Plymouth, and we are going to walk you through what it's like to actually experience a Foreward Golf fitting. So I'm here. I'm going to introduce us to Hunter Hoagland. Hoagie, we've heard about this. We've been following these guys on Instagram. Take us through. I want you to just take me through. Pretend I'm a normal customer, which I am. I'm going to get fit for the clubs. Just talk us through. So what do we need to know?
First off, I'm going to take you through a brief interview process. Whether we want to go through that right now, essentially, you know what you like to see in the golf game, what we want to achieve happen on the golf course, and how we can help make that happen through these golf clubs. So every one of these variables is going to impact how that ball flies, how you strike it, and so we're going to go through that today, figure out how we can make that most efficient for you, and how we can make those goals happen on the golf course for you.
Great. Well, let's do it.
Let's get your current 7-iron in your hand. Just get the body loose and get warmed up here first and foremost. Get you a glove.
All right, so step one, come in, warm up.
Tell me right now, a really important variable that not a lot of players like to talk about is the golf ball. What do you play currently on the golf course?
I tend to do best with the Pro V1.
Awesome. So that's what I have down in the bay right now for you. So we're going to keep consistent with that golf ball, just so we can keep that metric of our data consistent throughout the testing today. So just get the body moving a little bit here first and foremost. Take a couple of swings. Tell me a little bit about what kind of shot shape are we seeing on the golf course right now?
I like just either a high straight or just a high fade.
Yeah.
Easy to control.
Absolutely. Do you like to work the golf ball both ways?
Nope. Like it straight. If I try to work it, I tend to hook it.
Okay.
And then I get extra distance, so I miss greens.
Yep, absolutely. It's good to know.
When I played my best golf and got down to scratch, I literally just hit that shot super consistently. So I'm looking for clubs that maybe launch a little bit higher. I do tend to strike a little low on the face, so a lot of the shots will feel kind of thin.
Okay, that's good to know.
Just looking for consistency and feel.
The people listening should know, as you see Kevin put on the stripe show, he did get fit by these irons by me initially. So it'll be kind of fun to see how many of these variables kind of check the box of these new ones that we're going to be into. One or two more, we'll get rocking.
Okay.
So you're going to hear today the term tiger strike several times, and what that's referred to is getting that ball as close to the bottom of the face as possible, so we can control that low point and ultimately have no distractions between the club face and the golf ball. So,
all right, let's show them the two clubs that we're comparing.
So right now, we're going to be going through the coolest part with this process that Kevin's going through today is I'm not necessarily trying to sell him this golf club. I'm just trying to prescribe the golf club for him that works the best. So we're going to go through and test 8 variables of a golf club that are most important to achieving a tiger strike. We're going to test those in isolation of one another so we can figure out what really moves the needle and what works best for him. And then we're going to go through that process, take a few swings with each and see what happens here. So are you feeling pretty loose, or do you want to take a couple more and get the body moving?
I'm ready to go.
Perfect. We're going to start off with every one of these. We'll chat through them a little bit afterwards. We're going to keep Kevin as blind as we can to what he's trying so that he can just simply go through the process and experience it. So first things first, we will start here. Good sir. Give me one moment just to put this in the data. We are good to go. Ready when you are. See that? Perfect.
All right, so I'll show them that. So when you hit, what is sprayed on the face there?
So we just use some face spray. We just put foot spray just so we can get an idea of where that strike location's at. So we're gonna see this after 3, and we'll compare all of them. It'll be really cool. You'll be able to see what moves the needle and between the 3 different colors and 3 different variables within this color that we're testing. That strike location will move significantly. So another one, you can see just a couple grooves high in the face there.
All right, you want to show it to them?
So there is number 1 in chrome. Number 2.
So did I read, Hunter? Was it 72 swings, 8 different variables?
Exactly, 72 swings, 8 variables, very efficient, and testing stuff that a lot of fittings you won't even be able to try. Immediately you can hear that strike was significantly better.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger
strike.
There it is, the first tiger strike of the day. That felt really good.
Excellent.
Show him that one.
Yeah, take a peek at that grouping. You can see, we'll bring over all 3 clubs after, but you can see a vast difference in strike location between club number 1 and club number 2. And there is a reason why.
Left.
That was tiger strike.
Yep, bottom groove, baby.
Another one. It's fascinating, as you guys are seeing as well. There's obviously 2 balls left of line there consecutively.
All right. Show him that one.
Lovely
Show him that.
grouping. Yep. Let's take over all 3 here. So there's the 3rd golf club that we're seeing. Excuse me. Let's show you all 3 next to each other so you can kind of see how this changed and moved throughout the club fitting here. So as we can see, we started with the one in the middle, which is a little higher on the face. That clearly worked lower onto the face and stayed a little bit lower on the face. So this is one that we'll have to take some farther investigation at here as this test goes on. Variable number 2 coming up. If you were to guess, and we can chat through this afterwards, but if you were to guess, what did you think you were testing there?
I'm not even going to guess.
There we go. I was gonna say it's tough.
They felt a little bit different weights. That would be my guess. Lighter.
Let's.
I'm keeping an open mind.
Give me 1 sec here. We're ready to rock.
I felt really good.
The positive news for people listening in is KU's existing clubs passed the test on variable number 1.
All right.
Here's black number 1. Number 2.
That was very thin. Okay. Couple foul balls there.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm guessing, hold on 1 sec here, let me just switch this over. I'm guessing that has more to do with the variable that we're testing than the operator.
We'll see.
Knowing Kevin in his game the way I do, I was very intrigued to see this one.
One more?
Yeah, give me one more with this.
Well, after watching hundreds of people go through this at the golf show and hearing Division I college players, PGA Tour guys, or PGA professionals that have fitted for years and years, I mean, I'm coming into this, I feel like the more neutral and unblind I can be, I feel like the better results we're going to get.
110%. I couldn't agree more. The you can see the grouping on 3 was fantastic. Grouping on 3 was fantastic, but fairly high on the face. On 1 there, got a couple low strikes and a nice centered grouping. So we'll have to take a peek at the data and see what that tells us too, but definitely some things that are standing out already for us. So
variable, that was 2 of 3 or 2 of 8?
2 of 8, yes. So next, we're gonna test blue. This is something that you will not be able to test at any other fitting. There's several variables here that we look into that you will not try at any other club fitting. May just get blue 1 on here and we'll get rocking. Good. 1 more with that. Lovely. Nice little grouping there on blue number 1. Can I get you a water, Gatorade?
I'll be good for now.
That's a tiger strike. A little Healy, but we're not worried about that. Could be one of the other 7 variables that's causing that. Lovely golf shot.
Okay.
We had 2
let's get some shots where you're
right on top
yeah,
of each other and
like
one
this.
a little high. Lovely.
Oh, it feels so good, Hunter.
Ball speed's up there big time.
What's the metal again for the forward heads?
So it's a carbon steel. For the head, it's very, very soft.
Did I hear this weekend it's like the same metal as like Miura uses?
As I say, the same level of softness. They're extremely
good.
easy to adjust and
All right, what do we got here?
purple.
Purple. All right.
Well, I'll keep flashing the single ones though. Just holding the 3 up is the one that, the 3 is the challenge.
Oh. That's worth looking at.
Tiger strike. That'll play.
All right.
Lovely. It's our second fastest ball speed of the day.
That won't get old.
No, that doesn't get old watching that.
Can I take this one home with me?
As I say, that the last 2 have been lovely.
Now I'm noticing, Hunter, like you're not putting adapters. Why is that? Why aren't there like switch out adapters on these?
These are all custom curated, like built for this process. So to prototype head with these weight ports in the back that allow us. So when he's testing a said variable, this isn't the variable he's testing now, but say he's testing lie angle, for example. It allows us to test 3 variations of that with controlling every single other variable in the process. And so when we go through a traditional fitting and we use those adapter systems and we use lengthened shafts to make that happen, swing weight changes, effective lie angle or static lie angle changes, the total weight of the golf club changes. So
I could get fit using an adapter, and that's not the actual club when it arrives at my door.
110%. And the other thing too is that we may when we're trying that, 4 variables get altered, and one of those variables might alter how much you like the golf club or how well you can hit it. Where now we can actually test these in isolation to figure out what works best for you. So
all right, which one we got here? Purple.
This
3?
is purple 3. So the last one of the purple tests.
Well, and I love that I don't feel like I'm changing my swing. Like I'm not thinking about, is it heavy or light or upright?
You see that
whatever.
Okay, that was very, very ideal in terms of strike location, just toey. So, beautiful.
All right. Yeah, and I would say the differences between the clubs is hard to notice as well.
So a little off to the toe there, but very low on the face, which is what we like to see. There was very little turf interaction between the club face and the golf ball, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. That ultimately leads to the...
What's the advantage, Hunter, of it actually hitting lower on the face?
We have more control of the golf ball. There's less things interacting with the club face and the golf ball, so we have almost full control of where that ball flies and how it flies.
All right, which one we got here?
We are going into the pink test.
Pink one. All right.
This is probably one of my favorite tests. And I love that. My favorite part about this is that everything we're doing here is completely blind. So it takes kind of my biases, any of the players' biases, completely out of play here. We have a tendency of pink 1 going left.
Hope there aren't any houses over there. All right. That was a train wreck.
That's all right. There's probably a reason why.
Show them that beauty of a pattern.
Yep. That's I can tell you I don't think pink 1 is going to fit the prescription for Kevin.
That's 2 windows and the guy on the next tee box, that one there. All right, now we're back. So this is pink 2?
Pink number 2.
Now Tiger's back.
As I say, those are right on top of each other.
Yeah, look, show them the difference there.
Just a tad bit better there.
Same swing.
Same swing.
Literally. At least
That,
I felt like it was the same swing.
And that's what's cool. The biggest thing too, when we go through this.
You did that one. Pink 3?
Yep, pink number 3. Biggest thing we go through this too is seeing kind of trends, paying attention to trends with how does these variables affect the way we move the golf club? How does it affect our path? How does it affect our face to path? How does it affect the way we swing speed-wise? So really looking at what moves the needle for us, and everybody's different.
Well, I think what's different about me, I've never been technical. I've always considered myself more just a field player, but I've noticed what a dramatic difference, if I'm playing Strixons or Callaways or TaylorMades, and I've gone through Ping, PXG, TaylorMade, Callaway fittings, and they all seem to be different. Some come out 2 degrees upright, some 2 degrees down. I'm banging on the lie angle boards and bending things. And
that's the biggest.
So I always just wondered, is there any standardization of this process?
And there hasn't been, and I think this is truly the going to be the future of how we standardize club fitting here.
Okay, is that 2 or 3?
That is 3 with pink
Okay.
2.
Yep, show them that.
Nice little grouping there as well. So you'll see, and we'll chat through this at the end. We're going to decipher the data. The biggest thing, like Kevin mentioned, he does not like to see the ball go left, kind of protective of that left miss. So if we get 2 variables like pink 2 and pink 3, really nice groupings, really nice groupings. That's when we're going to get really picky at the data, the consistency and the standard deviations of that data, and how it can help you play your best golf. So let's...
Well, and the thing that really brought this to light is this winter I tried to play 3 different sets. I had one at Simulator A, one at Simulator B, and one at out in Arizona. Like I literally play in 3 different sets. Proved to me that it is the clubs.
It absolutely has an impact on the way we move the golf ball. Let's start here with orange 1. A little high in the face there.
Yep. Above Tiger Strike Zone. That's traditional sweet spot.
Fastest ball speed of the day, 111.
That was low, bottom 2 grooves. Okay. All right, ready?
Let me just move this and we'll be ready to rock. Ready to rock.
All right.
Beautiful.
Well, this is the best feeling club I've hit in a long time.
And in terms of the club head?
Yeah, I'd say
Yep.
it compares more to like the Mizuno, like the MP69 feel, that, but a lot more forgiveness, obviously.
Yeah, as I say, the unique part about this golf club is it's got a wide blade length but a very thin top line, which is attractive to a lot of golfers.
Well, I'm dating myself a little bit, but when I remember when the Titleist, like the DCIs came out, like forgiving and decent feel.
Had that look and feel, yep.
Yeah. But we were playing Bellata balls back then too, so
Yep.
that made a difference.
We can thank Mr. Bobka for the DCIs.
Definitely feel better than my first set of Spaldings from Kmart.
I can imagine.
Remember the executives?
Yep. Oh
Seen
yeah.
those? Oh, like we got to show a picture.
That
of
was
those.
that was a Tiger Strike there.
Spalding executive. Look them up. Had like a fish fin look. Looked like the gills of a fish.
Beautiful. Very, very nice.
Feels like, is the weight lower? Does that contribute to that little bit higher, bigger, more spin?
Yes. So.
Is that tungsten in the bottom of those? What do we got?
Yeah. So tungsten weight, CG wise, this is the CG in this iron is 25% lower than any other iron in the market.
Okay.
Which we laugh. I like to tease him. Chado was the only guy that was crazy enough to throw that much tungsten low in the head so we could make these golf clubs balance. And then we've always been told, industry standard, that the lower the CG goes, the higher the launch, the lower the spin. And what's interesting is the farther we dive into that, we're finding out that's just simply not necessarily true. It really depends on the golfer. But when we have that CG really low in the face, it's a lot easier to control low point, strike control. What I'd like to see there, obviously they weren't all perfect, but there wasn't a single one that stayed left, which is something that Kevin likes to see. 2 red. That was about as Tiger Strike.
Oh, show them that one.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean by Tiger Strike?
that's a Tiger Strike, folks. Lovely.
A little thin. It's all right.
Lovely. Last one.
All right.
We got one more variable after this
Which
to
one's
round
this?
through, and we'll have
Is
some.
that red 3?
This is red number 3. We got green left, and we'll have a prescription.
So 72 swings, 8 variables equals 1 prescription?
One prescription, any brand too. Red is generally the only test that the consumer can actually tell. The tester can actually tell pretty quickly what variable we're testing there. So,
All right, which one's this?
last but not least, green
Green.
number 1. Take your time. We got 9 swings left.
All right.
You know what's cool about this? Is right now we'd probably be on like our 5th or 6th different shaft, and we wouldn't even have been getting into club heads.
So what's the benefit of that, Hunter? Do people just get worn out?
Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to maintain a consistent swing throughout that long of a duration of time. I used to be a big believer in full bag fittings, and I don't even offer them anymore because it's really hard to do them in a productive manner. And
So what do you recommend? Woods, irons?
doing kind of top of the bag together, irons together, wedges together. We can tie in kind of wedges and irons at the same time, but it's really hard after going through this many iron swings to get into the driver and start ripping a bunch and be productive with it.
Is that 2 or 3?
That was 3 with green number 1. How did that feel?
Good. Yeah. Is there an advantage too, Hunter, of doing this inside
Yeah, it's
versus outside?
The biggest thing is people tend to complain about mats in general and their ability to strike the ball on them. If we can get the golf ball coming off the club face as quickly as possible and without any interference, we should be able to get that strike really low. And I almost look at the practice mat as a training aid in a sense, because if we hit it behind the golf ball whatsoever, that ball's going to ride up the face. So this is really going to help us figure out what leads to the most effective strike. Because if we can hit it low on the face off a mat, we can absolutely do it off a turf outside.
Ah. I cannot tell you how good that feels.
The
Like that is
this is a
game-changing feel. I literally don't even feel that hitting the club.
deviations there were really tight.
Yeah, those first two might have been the best feeling shots I've ever hit. The first 2 were right in the middle. Third one's off the toe, but
No, that's
it developed no twist on the face. I barely even felt the ball.
no, those are lovely. This
All
is
right, have we gotten through them all?
we have. This
All
is
right.
where we have the fun of going through and,
Okay.
and writing you your script. So
So let's line them up. Let's show.
yeah, absolutely. I was just saying,
Mike, maybe you can help with this. So in Foreward Golf, when they say 72 swings, 8 variables, 1 prescription, this is what they're talking about. So the thing that intrigued me most about the forward fitting system was just kind of through the years, I didn't feel like my swing changed that much, but I feel like whether the clubs that I got made a dramatic difference. Also going to different club fitters, I would go to one club fitter and get one prescription. I'd go to another one, get a different one. So I just felt like there might have been some consistency lacking as far as like a standardized procedure. So if you follow Foreward Golf on Instagram, you see some crazy guy with a cool mustache yelling tiger strikes at everybody. So if you don't follow Foreward Golf on Instagram, be sure to do that. Very entertaining, but more importantly, it's just great content. We will post a 90-second video that basically explains all the science behind this. But like we found here at Golo Golf with Hunter, you will not meet more passionate people about going through the process of basically finding the club that fits you, whether it's a Ping, a Titleist, a TaylorMade, or could be a Foreward.
And what I'm excited to show Kevin is, I think we did a pretty good job with his iron that he's got in the bag right now.
All right, talk us through.
So let's, I was just say, let's go through these one by one.
Let me do a pan just while they're down there. Let me
Yeah.
just do a little pan first. So tell me what we're looking at here, Hunter. We got blue, we got 2, and then let's just go down. That's variable 1,
we got
variable 2, variable 3, variable 4, variable 5, variable 6, variable 7. All right. Actually, no, we got 8. There's 8 there. Okay. All right.
The first variable we tested today, and probably one of the most important, is the sole design. And so you can see we got 3 different groupings here on the club face, all pretty solid. One's a little higher on the face. One stands out a lot to me, and that's this one right here, number 2. It's our lowest strike location. It's the most centered strike location. And if we look at the data, if you pan to the screen, just looking at grouping,
Just farther back.
grouping, consistency. If you look at the screen here, number 2 is a clear winner.
Okay.
Number 3 led to some left misses, which is traditional of a high bounce head. High bounce golf clubs are going to have a tendency to shut through impact. Low bounce are going to have a tendency to actually open through impact. And so you can see with the low bounce one, we had a couple right misses. With that mid bounce, we were super centered on that center line.
Okay. Show me the bounce. Show me what you mean by bounce. Put them upside down.
So sole design here. So we're looking at the design of that sole of the golf club and how that interacts with the turf. So this is a huge indication of strike location, and something that in fittings it's not talked about enough. So this is where that conversation with Kevin is super open, because you're a medium bounce guy. So your Strixon ZX7s that you're playing, money. They're perfect. So this is the type of conversations that we can have. This opens up Kevin to Mizuno, Titleist, TaylorMade, Cobra, whatever manufacturer that Kevin really wants to play. So if he's on staff with one, if he's loyal to a certain brand, that's fantastic. This is just going to help us get that answers to get you the best there.
This might explain why I struggle hitting pings, because they're more of what, high bounce?
Yes, traditionally, the players' irons with pings are either low bounce or high bounce. There's very few that are actually mid bounce, and so that's why it's exactly what you need. And that's why, truthfully, when you grabbed those Strixons and started whacking them, that's why you loved them right away, because the sole design was perfect for you.
Okay.
So 2.
All right. So then what do? You put aside the one winner?
Yep,
Okay.
mid bounce was the winner. Variable number 2. This one, I was really excited to take Kevin through blindly, because he has his biases in this a little bit himself without knowing it. This is lie angle. So we were testing lie angle here. We're going to pull up the data for you, but we had a club that was 5 degrees upright. We had a club that was 5 degrees flat. And we had a club that was manufacturer standard. Kevin's always been leaning towards upright
2 degrees
guy.
upright, yeah.
And the thing that shows here, he was diamond upright one. So tiger strike galore. The thing that was nice though is what traditionally with an upright golf club we'd have a left miss, which is what you do not like to see. But with upright, it held its line. We didn't have a lot of left spin. Our start line was just a little bit left, and that's something, how upright we go, that's where we'll have that conversation when we get into your script. But we're not probably going to be in that 5 degree upright range. We're probably going to be in that 2 degree vicinity that you've probably played in the past. So upright and lie angle is what we looked at there.
All right, so we pull out that winner.
Yep, okay. That was the golden ticket there. So the next test that we went through when going through this was pink. So pink is shaft. Excuse me, this is purple. Purple and pink look the same, but we do these back to back. So purple is shaft profile. So we're looking at where in the golf club the shaft is actually kicking. Number 1 was a very clear winner here, just in terms of the centerness of that strike point and how low on the face that was. If we look at the data too, The standard deviations with number 1 were quite a bit tighter than the rest of them. Standard deviations being how consistent that was throughout.
So what does that mean for me?
So we're going to be playing something that is tip stiff,
Okay.
and which is similar to what you play right now.
So that's kick point?
Yep. So we got actually 3 out of 3 variables checked with your existing set so far,
All right.
which is awesome to hear.
Set those aside. I want to summarize those at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which one of those?
So we're going to the next one here. Let me pull up the data on this one, because this is where we're going to need to get some data involved to really decipher. So, pink. We have 1, which is the big circle. We have 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 here, very, very tight. What we're looking at here is shaft flex or shaft profile. What's nice with this is we can automatically eliminate 1 from the picture. And so what we're looking at here are between a medium and a soft flex. And so this one here, 3, was actually a senior or ladies flex shaft. This one here is a regular flex shaft. Based on the data, what we're seeing here in terms of the standard deviations, I like the idea of keeping you in that stiff to regular flex category. We saw tighter dispersions. We saw a little bit more speed and a little bit more ball speed and a little bit more spin, which are both beautiful things. Launch was a little higher on pink 3, but nothing that is worth knowing. Only half a degree in launch angle there. So we made up for that with spin. So pink 2 is the winner.
And I am 54.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting into something a little softer.
I'm not trying to swing 200 ball speed here.
Yeah, let's set this.
Something
this is our winner over here for black. So we're getting into blue.
Okay, what do we got in blue?
Blue is a fascinating test. This is a test that you will not be able to try at any other club fitting out there right now. What we are testing here with blue is every single one of these golf clubs is identical swing weight. They are the identical shaft flex, shaft profile. They're identical lie angle. They aren't the same in is total weight. So we have a massive variance in total weight in these golf clubs to figure out what actually works best. So you've heard of the term swing weight before. We also test swing weight.
Okay.
Swing weight's the balance of the golf club. This is just how much the club actually weighs itself.
Total club weight.
The total club weight.
Okay, nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah, and it's something that people kind of tend to avoid. And I think swing weight and total weight, how they impact you and how they impact your swing is fascinating. So let's take a peek over here. Let's take a peek over here and look at the data here. Because these strike locations, we got a couple that are pretty close here. So this will be fun to investigate. So let's look at groupings first and foremost. Groupings here. We see that blue number 3 has a propensity to stay left of line. Green was fairly centered. The one thing that we should note with green here is this is the one misread we got in the test, just due to that face spray.
Okay, yep.
So after removing that, it is a very, very, very clear-cut answer.
Which is, for me?
That we like heavy golf clubs, which is a surprise. So that doesn't, we're going to get into the balance of the golf club and how that club actually balances, but the heavier the golf club, the tighter the dispersion pattern for you, and the tighter our variances were with what we're seeing with ball speed.
Put
so
that winner aside.
We're going to put that one aside here, blue number 1. The last 3 tests are all pretty fascinating. This one is going to be interesting to decipher the data too, because this is one where we're going to, when I write Kevin his prescription, it will not be to this amount, but it will include this variable, which is shorter golf clubs. Mm-hmm. So with these, we tested length, and this is what's really cool about this test. You tall guys out there, every time you get handed a golf club in a fitting, what they don't want to tell you is the swing weight goes up several points. The balance of that golf club gets really goofy. Dynamic lie angle goes up as well. And so figuring out what kind of length the clubs help us perform the best. So 1 generated a ton of ball speed, but 1, we missed every single one left of line. And as you can see with 3 on the screen, which would be represented as orange, is insanely tight dispersion patterns. Did the same thing every time. And do you notice how 3 had a significantly lower strike pattern on the face than the rest of them. That's where we're seeing the consistency with the standard deviations as well. So this is an 1.5 inches short. I am not going to prescribe Kevin an 1.5 inches short. We're probably going to be looking at more like the 1/2 inch range. So the as you can see, we had one miss there, really low on the face, probably just him adjusting first swing, getting used to that shorter golf club. Same thing here, though. As you can see, there's always going to be kind of that adjustment swing and then going from there, but the biggest thing is trying to get Kevin to swing his swing when he's doing this process every single time. So
let's tell people a little bit about that. I'm 5'8". Do people have like different length arms? Like what would make a difference? Why would a tall person maybe need a shorter club? That doesn't make sense to most people.
100%. The biggest thing, so it's a great question. When we get to manufacturers and the way they fit people, everybody's got a different way of doing it with height and length. And so wrist to floor, knuckles to floor, waist to floor, like there's all these different measurements that these manufacturers utilize, and none of them are wrong. But it's interesting how there's no standard with this process. And when you went to a fitting, has anyone ever handed you a club that's 1.5 inches long?
No.
Yeah, why would they, right? But we assume nothing and we test everything here. And that's what this process is all about. The thing that's cool is when we hand them that golf club, it balances the same shaft flex, same shaft profile. So we were just seeing what happened. But with the shorter golf club, oftentimes it's the opposite, where we can't feel the head, we lose low point control. So it's interesting to see that shorter golf club worked significantly better for you.
So this is fascinating to me because when I started golfing, I tried to learn the traditional swing. I took lessons. I hit balls until my fingers bled. When I went to a little bit more of a one plane swing, a little more upright, a little slower swing speed, that's when I feel like I got my consistency. So are you telling me like through this forward process, it doesn't matter what your swing plane is, what your height is, what your knuckle to floor, like this system will pick up what's perfect for you?
Yeah, and the thing that's really cool is to see trends of like, how does this impact the way you swing the golf club? And so what was interesting is everybody's different in this, and that's why any book about club fitting we can almost throw in the garbage, because now we're finding out that every single individual has different needs and has different stuff. So with Kevin, generally longer clubs, people have an easier time getting inside. It actually made him come more across the golf ball, and that's why we had that hard left pull miss with it. With 3, it helped him actually neutralize that path and get that path even more neutral. Yeah. So,
well, and one of the things that stuck in my head, I was listening to Chad talk with one of the local PGA professionals that has done 1 million fittings. You know, he had a Division I player basically tell him, you know, it's nice to go through this process and to actually learn that if I'm not hitting good shots, it's probably not the equipment. So just to have that confidence in your equipment that you know that for your mostly consistent swing, day to day, week to week, you actually have equipment so that if things start to go awry, maybe it's your actual swing, not
100%
the club. And I know a lot of people, especially now with all these metrics, it gets in their head.
And the biggest thing is we're leaving every variable untested so that you can go out on the golf course with the utmost confidence that I'm going to go out there and tiger strike the ball and completely own how I'm working that golf ball and where the ball's flying, how far it's flying, etc. So
love it.
We're going to give you the tools to do that.
All right, put the winner aside.
Yeah, we'll put the winner aside there. This green test we were testing swing weights. So we're looking at the swing weight of the golf club, also known as the way the golf club balances. So you'll see on the back side here, this is where it's kind of fun to see. These golf clubs are the same length. We had to do some wild things in the build process to get these to balance the way they are, but as you can see here, varying swing weights, so how much Kevin can feel the head as he's swinging throughout the process. And so what's interesting, what I've seen so far in the few weeks been doing forward fittings, is people's perception of swing weight or head weight is much different than it actually is. So they're like, when I hand them the one that is actually head heavy, they think it's shaft heavy and vice versa. And so we have a very close test here between 1 and 2. So let's hop over and look at the data here and see what it says. So, pure numbers, we're looking at 1 and 2 are the two ones that were really close. 3, just in terms of strike location, tend to lead to quite a bit higher strikes, but that ball speed is also the fastest, which is fascinating. Based off what we're seeing here, let me also look at the grouping one more time here, but I'm leaning 2 here, which is a neutral swing weight. Based off of the groupings, this is a pretty dang close battle. I actually like one, which is heavier swing weights. So heavier golf club, heavier swing weight produces a more consistent grouping for KU here. As you can see, one there.
Well, if I go with the actual forward clubs, these are what, tungsten plugs? What do we got? What are
Yep.
we looking at there?
We can put in 1 grams all the way up to 24 grams in there. So there's a ton of disposable weight throughout that head. So very, very fascinating. But interesting to know that, as we talked about, we're getting that shaft to get softer, but we're going a little bit heavier. We're going in terms of swing weight and total weight, which is unique. So
Okay.
We'll set that winner aside here.
Well, and given thousands of golfers instructions and fittings. I mean, how many identical swings have you seen?
None, never. Right? And truthfully, the thing that's really cool, to be honest with you, is the biggest thing is doing loft and line gapping sessions, doing all these different analysis for people. I swing weight people's golf clubs at least twice a day, and the variance within someone's own manufactured set of their swing weights is incredible to me. You think you'd want that to be somewhat uniform throughout your set, so that it balanced and felt the same. Literally last night, this is a great example. I had a guy whose clubs varied between, he's a lengthened shaft, 1.5 inches over, former NFL player, 1.5 inches over shafts, E9 were his wedges, his irons were in the high Ds, his driver was back up into the low E's, and then his fairway woods were like C10. He's like, I can't hit my fairway woods, they feel really odd. It's because they're balanced completely different than the rest of his set. And
Okay,
so,
what else we got here? We got one more?
last variable.
Right.
This one is fascinating to me as well. This is grip size that we're testing here. This is the one that people can generally tell 12 the quickest. Let's pull these up so people can see.
Yeah, we'll see that, and then we'll look at the grips as well.
So we're testing a standard size grip, which is 3, mid-size, and a jumbo.
And I typically would do oversized double wraps, so I've always felt like.
Yeah, and let's take a peek at the data and how that kind of impacted you. This is one of, in my opinion, this is one of Kevin's biggest needle movers when it comes to wanting to avoid a specific miss on the golf course.
And can I hold the jumbo? I'm more just kind of giving an example.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the standard in your hand.
So what I've popularly heard that if you grip the club, will you tap the focus? If you grip the club, your fingers shouldn't be digging in to your hand. Is that kind of a common perception?
Yes.
I've always felt standardized grips, I was really digging in, I was overlapping too much.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that's cool with this process too is that we're looking at an unbiased test of how does this actually impact your game too, and the variables. So like, for example, we might go through this. The data did tell us that bigger grips perform significantly better for you, which is what we kind of expected to see. The thing that's kind of fascinating though is I want to take a peek at this a little closer. We had a couple, this is one of our last tests we did, we had a couple misses here, but in general, we produced more ball speed with a mid-sized grip. It spun more, and we got a little bit more carry out of that. So dispersion pattern was tighter at the end of the day too. The bigger grips prevented us from that left miss, which is.
So talk to me about if I were to walk into a grip store, is that like a mid-size? Is that a 1 wrap, 2 wrap, 3 wrap?
Kind of in that mid-size category. So mid-size to oversize. If we went mid-size, we could definitely throw a few wraps under there. I wouldn't go too many wraps under an oversize, but kind of anywhere in that category.
But not a jumbo.
I wouldn't go to the jumbo, but
okay.
and if you're in the Jumbo Max, which is a grip manufacturer, Jumbo Max makes grips. You'd be in their oversize, which is their smallest one they make. Okay. And so several options. We'll give you the kind of the tools to pick. Obviously, grips are a really important part of the golf club, so you can feel like what you feel and touch. It's what you touch every single time.
Okay. So is that all? Is that all 8 variables?
Yeah. Let's go chat through this real quick and give you an overview of what this looks like here. So.
Are these the winners?
These are our winners here. So we are going to be playing heavy swing weight.
Okay.
Mid flex, so basically regular to stiff.
So this is my official prescription?
This is your official prescription right here.
All right.
We are going to be playing a mid bounce as well.
Okay.
We're going to be playing something that's tip stiff.
Okay.
We're going to be playing something that has upright lie angles. we're going to be playing something that is heavier in total weight. We're going to play something that is a tad shorter.
Okay.
We're going to play something with mid-size grips. So,
all right, and look at those strike patterns.
Really, really, really centered
Look at
there.
Look at that collection of tennis strikes.
Yep. So the best part about this is, granted, let's talk about Kevin's Strixon ZX7 here. So, Kevin's Strixon ZX7 is going to be on the heavier side for total weight, which we checked that box. We got a mid bounce, we checked that bounce. We got a mid-sized grip, we checked that box. We got upright lie angles, we checked that box. So things we need to look at here in terms of the shaft profile, we got that right on the nose, which is phenomenal. Kevin is playing a stiff in this, and I think those will be completely fine for him for the next few years. Long term, we could probably look at going something even softer down the road, but let's give that one a passing grade. So we're 6 for 6 so far. The two that we cannot necessarily, we could alter through rebuilding it, which we're happy to do, is we'd like to get this a little bit heavier in, so the total weight we're close, like get this a little bit heavier in total weight, but swing weight, we definitely want to get a little bit more weight in his head. And then lastly, we want to cut off a little bit of length as well. So
maybe half inch, you're thinking?
Yeah, half inch on the length. So the thing that's nice is we're basically 6 or 7 out of 8, which is phenomenal. There's several options here of how we can provide solutions here for Kevin today, whether it's going with a set like a forward set, going with a new set, or simply just adjusting his existing set and helping him play better golf with the clubs he has. So,
all right, so let me wrap this up because we want to keep this under an hour because we promised that in about an hour you can get your prescription. Basically, what I'm hearing, I went through a traditional fitting process before Forward with one of the best club fitters in the state.
Appreciate that.
And he got 6 out of 8 right.
Yeah.
So I mean, what I'm excited about is
that's 75% at the end of the day, which is it's okay. Yeah. But like I want to be, we want the answers to what moves the needle for Kevin and for anybody that's in front of us, and this process allows us to actually do that and truly get the answers that we need. So
all right, so here's what I wanted to share with the crowd is I feel like, okay, I went through the best of the best fitting process. I found the best of the best clubs. This is like the 3rd set I've had in 5 years to find that. So that was an expensive process to get to this one. So my choices right now is I can either keep playing a club that's probably 75% good for me, or maybe I could put these beauties in the bag and have 8 out of 8 fit my swing. And I can tell you, I mean, I can honestly say it's literally been a Mura or a Mizuno since I felt the club feel that good. So
the thing that's cool with this too is I want you to think of it as a type of a Build-A-Bear experience where essentially it's like you get to build the ferrule of your choice, the color of the head of your choice, the color of your weights, and so it can get really, really, really fun with the combinations that you can put together.
All right, Hunter, if people want to get fit here for these Forward clubs in Minnesota, where should they go?
www.golfgolow.com. Under club fitting, you'll see the Forward club fitting as an option. We'd love to help you guys out and show you where good golf lives. Like I said, the beautiful thing with this too is KU is leaving here with options on how we can provide solutions for him. He's going to have a quote for altering his existing set, which is going to be a couple $100 probably at most. He's going to have a quote for a new golf set, and he's going to have several options of how he can play better golf. So,
all right. Well, I was a little excited about the season. Now I'm really excited.
Let's go. Tiger Strikes are coming to Minnesota.
All right. Well, listen for it. Hoagie, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Appreciate you coming through this and going through this. Excited to take Minnesota golfers through this and show them where good golf lives.
Oh, people are going to love this. Thanks, Hoagie.
Thank you.